Hello, and welcome to Spaventoso Speculates. We have 15 commander cards you should be buying and maybe playing. Episode 18. This is specifically Commander Cards to Not Make Friends. Volume 1. Going to be a lot of salty cards on this list. Might make you a target or an enemy at the tables. Card number 1, Acidic Soil, 2 and a red, sorcery. Acidic Soil deals 1 damage to each player for each land he or she controls. This is in 0.47% of decks. It's under $1.50 right now. A couple years back it did spike to over $4. Some of the commanders that make use of this, a lot of mono red commanders. I like this in Zozu the Punisher. So do 30% of other Zozu players. But Torbran uses this, Firesong, and Sunspeaker. Lots of commanders can make use of this, and you can too, especially if you're not afraid of making enemies. Card number 2, Alms Collector, 3 and a white. For a cat cleric creature with flash, if an opponent would draw 2 or more cards, instead you and that player each draw a card. Alms Collector is used in just about 1% of commander decks. Originally, it was over $15. Some reprints have driven that price back down to under $3. I think if you can pick this up for about $2.50, $3, you'd be doing pretty good. And slot it into a lot of your white decks. Ren and Siri players are making most use out of this, maybe since it's a dog-cat commander. But so is Miri and some other commanders here as well, making use out of this. 4 mana is a little much, but you do get to draw quite a few cards over it the course of the game if this sticks around on the table. Card number 3, Ancient Runes, 2 and a red for an enchantment. During each player's upkeep, Ancient Runes deals 1 damage to that player for each artifact he or she controls. Used in 0.16% of decks. The card spiked a couple years ago to about $4, but it's since gone back down between $1 and $2. Might be a good price for some beat up copies. I think the market value is showing $4 for maybe some more pristine copies. And if this sticks around, it's going to deal a couple of damage to everyone each turn for playing artifacts everyone uses. Mana Rocks has treasure lying around and the such in Commander, so this could deal a good handful of damage, while these commanders use it the most. Torbran, Morgus, God of Slaughter, Zozu the Punisher again, Cloythus, God of Destiny too as well. So I think you can still use artifacts in your decks. You're just not going to want to be playing any like artifact, like treasure or clue-based strategies while you're running this card. Card number 4, Angel's Trumpet. It's an artifact for 3, colorless. Attacking does not cause creatures to tap at the end of each player's turn. Tap all untapped creatures he or she controls that did not attack this turn. Angel's Trumpet deals 1 damage to that player for each creature tapped this way. This is going to cause a little chaos on the board, as players are going to be forced to attack, and then it's going to give them vigilance if they do attack. And this list, yeah, you're not going to make a lot of friends playing a card like this. You might put a target on your back. This might snag somebody's disenchant or some artifact removal. It's only 0.15% of decks. There was a little bit of a buyout a couple of years ago, but this card, if you can find it for about $1, I think you're doing great. If you have one for $16, the foil version, you might want to sit on it for a little while. And here's some of the commanders that utilize it. Not just angel commanders, although it does fit that theme. It has quite a variety of commanders that make use out of it, but again, we're not here to make friends, we're here to make enemies. And card number 5, 2 and a red, Aria of the Flame. It's an enchantment. When Aria of the Flame enters, each opponent gains 10 life. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a verse counter on Aria of the Flame, then it deals damage equal to the number of verse counters on it to target player or planeswalker. Used in under 50.50% of decks. Not very many. It's about $1. Foil $2.30. And this is going to pair better with some commanders that you can see here that you're going to be running a lot of spells in, and that might maybe copy spells or give you other benefits for playing instants or sorceries. Aerith, Tormented Prophet, Niv Mizzet Perron. Lots of Feather the Redeemed players using this as well. On to card number 6. Arcane Laboratory. Enchantment. Each player can't play more than one spell each turn. That includes you. Used in 0.29% of decks. $1.40. I think the foil 7th edition would probably be quite expensive. So I'd be targeting the non-foil here. It looks like this card is going up slightly in price over the last couple of years. People are buying these out. There's less on the market. Some of the commanders utilizing this is the Enchanter, Grand Arbiter, Lavinia. It's kind of a Staxy piece that you would want to build around. Maybe you play your spells on other players' turns, or if you maybe have a combo you might want to protect, you can throw this down and have less chances of people tossing a lot of counter spells at you. Card number 7, Arc Bond. 200 instant. Choose target creature. Whenever that creature is dealt damage this turn, it deals that much damage to each other creature and each player. You don't have to choose your creature. You can choose an opponent's creature. It's pretty cheap. It might clear the board or clear a lot of the smaller creatures off the board. Market price about $1. Foil under 3, and this one has been going up over the last couple of years since this card was originally printed in 2015. Now might be a good time to snag a couple of these before the price goes too much higher. If we take a look at the commanders, Queen Marshesha, Soulflim. It's a bunch of multicolored commanders here. I think mono red, this fits in as well if you don't have too many board wipes, or you're looking for like a non-traditional board wipe, or just if you're playing a lot of big creatures and you want to clear the board of all the small guys, this is a good option. Number 8, Armageddon Clock. Used in 0.03% of decks. Armageddon Clock costs 6 for an artifact. You put a counter on it during your upkeep, and then at the end of the upkeep it deals X damage to each player, where X is the number of Doom counters on Armageddon Clock. And also during any upkeep, any player may pay 4 to remove a Doom counter from Armageddon Clock. Just to cause a little chaos on the board. If this sticks around too long, it'll be doing quite a bit of damage. You're going to want to target the Chronicles copy. Some of the other versions are much more expensive than the 77 cents that this is at right now. And some of the commanders that are utilizing this, not highly played in too many decks. But if you like to cause chaos, you're not looking to make friends, and you just want to play a reasonably quick game that's not going to last 4 hours, you can get the Armageddon Clock, maybe pump some counters up on it, or just hope that people pay that 4 and tie down some of their mana base. Card number 9, Aurelia's Fury is an instant that deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or players. Tap each creature dealt damage this way. Players dealt damage this way can't cast non-creature spells this turn. Foil is about $6, but I'd be looking at the non-foil version for maybe around $1, $1.50. Even if you just put 1 mana into here, into the X, and target the blue player, they won't be able to counter your spells this turn unless they have a counter spell on a creature. But yeah, it does a lot more than your average X spell, and I think it's underpriced right now, especially if you are playing red-white like some of these commanders. Lots of red-white commanders on this list. And there are many more that can make use out of this. And on to card 10. Awaken the Erstwhile. As a sorcery, each player discards all cards in their hand, then creates that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Used in 0.34% of decks. It is under 50 cents. The foil is about $1. Probably be picking up the foil, or a couple copies of the foil, if you like playing black and you don't like having friends. This is a good card, just to make sure, probably mid-game, late game, everyone just dumps their hand. Instead of clearing the board, you just put a bunch of 2/2 black zombies on the board. Maybe you want to put stuff in your graveyard, or your hand is empty already. This is a fun little card, and used in these commanders. Lots of mono black. Both the Tiny Bones decks, the Scarab God, Yawgmoth. Yeah, anything that you might get a benefit for when people discard cards, or if you have Madness cards, this is a good card to have in your collection. Card number 11, Balancing Act. 2 and 2 white for a sorcery. Each player chooses a number of permanents he or she controls equal to the number of permanents controlled by the player who controls the fewest, then sacrifices the rest. Each player discards cards from his or her hand the same way. Used in 0.04% of decks. As you can see, over the last couple of years, it's been rising a little bit. The foil especially, almost $20. I'd be trying to get a non-foil copy or two for about $1.30. Cards like these, you hope that your opponents make bad decisions. This doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have the least amount of cards or permanents, but that your opponents make poor decisions, and you can benefit from their poor decisions. And we're not here to make friends. We're here to make our enemies have a bad time. Here's the commanders that utilize this. Giada, Fountain of Hope, Grand Arbiter. Yeah, lots of Avacyn, lots of mono white here, but the 2 white might be tough to hit for 3 color deck, but I think some 2 color, white and blue, white and black, this might fit in a couple of places, especially after maybe like a board wipe. This might be especially brutal. Card number 12, Batwing Broom. Used in 0.79% of decks. It prevents all combat damage that would be dealt this turn if white was spent to cast Batwing Broom. Each player uses 1 life for each attacking creature he or she controls if black was spent to cast Batwing Broom. And then you do both if white and black was spent. This card's been on the rise. The original version is a little more pricey. I'd be targeting the list version of this one for about $4. It's pretty versatile, and you can make an enemy lose a lot of life if they're attacking you or someone else with a lot of creatures, or it's kind of a fog effect for black or white. Here's the commanders that utilize it. Lots of black and white commanders, a couple of 3 color commanders in there. If you are an Orzhov player, this is probably a card you want to be picking up for some of your decks. Card number 13, Bend or Break. 3 in a red, sorcery. Each player separates all land cards he or she controls into 2 face-up piles. For each player and opponent chooses a pile. Destroy all lands in that pile. Tap all lands in the other pile. 0.06% of decks. Over the last couple of years, this card has been rising too. The foil is almost $6.50, but I'd be trying to get a clean copy for under $1. Don't be buying no moderately heavily played versions of this. And this again is another one of those cards you hope that players make poor decisions. And since you are the one casting it, you have played with it before and know how to separate your piles appropriately, or maybe you're just running all mountains and it doesn't really matter. Here are the commanders that are utilizing it. So the Punisher here, Kibo, Ukitaki, Prince. Yeah, not just land destruction strategies, but you probably do want to build around it a little bit to maybe be able to recoup from those land losses or to ramp back into it. That's why there's some red and green commanders in here. Card 14, Biomantic Mastery. It's a little expensive here for sorcery. Draw a card for each creature target player controls, then draw a card for each creature another target player controls. So hopefully you'll be drawing quite a few cards off of this for the 7 mana investment. It's under 50 cents. The foil's still $3. If you can find one around there, I think it's probably a pretty good looking foil. Used in 0.13% of decks, probably because it's a little expensive. But late game, especially in certain pods, maybe people are playing a lot of green with a lot of tokens. You can draw a fair amount of cards off of this. Maybe dig for the answers you need to win the game. Here's some of the commanders that are making use out of this. Blue and green are the most popular, but Omath, Lucas of All, using it, Joda, Archmage Eternal, some 3-color commanders as well. We are getting to the end of our list here. The last card is Bite of the Black Rose. 3 and a black for sorcery. Will of the Council. Starting with you, each player votes for Sickness or Psychosis. If Sickness gets more votes, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 of until end of turn. If Psychosis gets more votes, or the vote is tied, each opponent discards 2 cards. Notably, this does not affect you. It's used in 0.20% of decks. Market value around 50-60 cents or so. The foil is $6. Has been going up over the last couple of years. Since I think the original printing was, 2011 or so? 2014 maybe? Pretty old card. And yeah, neither of them affect you. Most people, I mean, it's going to depend on the situation. Maybe you'll be able to sway some of the votes. But yeah, I think this one, since it's starting to go up, might be a time to snag some copies before it gets too expensive. And here are some of the commanders that utilize it. Kenrith, the Return King, Queen Marchesa, from my thumbnail. Joda the Unifier playing this as well. And attracts a Grand Unifier. Some of those players are running this card. So that was my 15 cards in Commander. You should be buying now and maybe playing before they get too expensive. Not going to make too many friends playing some of these cards, but thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and let me know which cards on the list you have used, and if they're total trash, let me know as well. Here's a little cheat sheet if you didn't want to listen to me talk. Could have just skipped to the end and paused here for the list.